Good morning, everyone. We're just a few moments away from starting a workshop on Qualcomm technologies. Please take this time to ensure that your audio and video settings are working correctly. We'll begin promptly in the next 5 minutes. Thank you for joining us.
Anjali, good morning. Anjali,
Good
are you
morning,
there?
sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Good morning,
Yes,
sir.
good morning.
Yeah,
Good
sir,
morning.
we're
No,
just
no, no, no,
starting.
no
We
problem.
were
What I'm
just
saying, I still see very less people hooked online. Please send a reminder in various groups, voice groups, indigenous group, that this conference is starting soon, so that more
Sure.
people get benefited out of this. Because I see very less people now. Total users right now are only 39. I was
yes,
expecting at least 100 people to join. So in those groups, you
sure, sir.
can put
We're
it
just
back.
speaking. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. We are sending a reminder to them. Uh, so we have sent some messages. Some people have joined, around 53 people have joined as of now, and some are also watching through our YouTube streaming, which we have also shared the link for.
Okay, okay, okay.
So, so maybe start now.
Mr. Savi has joined.
Sir, actually, we just reached out to him. He's stuck in traffic. So, Mr. Manmeet Singh, who's the Senior Director of Business Development, he will be speaking on his behalf.
Okay, so we can
Yes,
start.
we can start. Okay, sir, sure. So, good morning and a very warm welcome to all of you. My name is Anjali Khanna. We are thrilled to have you today to join us for this insightful session on Qualcomm Technologies, a collaborative effort between CDOT and Qualcomm Technologies. This virtual workshop is an excellent opportunity for us to explore the latest advancements in telecom and ICT and understand how these technologies can drive innovation in India's deep tech startup ecosystem. To formally begin our program, it is my great honor to welcome our dignitaries. Uh, Please join me in welcoming Dr. Rajkumar Upadhyay, CEO C. Dot. Sir, I welcome you and I request you to provide us with the opening remarks and setting the stage for today's discussion. Over to you, Dr. Upadhyay.
Okay, thank you, Anjali. Good morning, everyone, um, and welcome everyone for this workshop. It's really a great pleasure to kick off this workshop on Qualcomm technologies. It's a milestone event with joint efforts between CDOT and Qualcomm. I would like to extend a special thank you to Savi, who is could not join this meeting, president of Qualcomm, because he's stuck in traffic. I also would like to thank Mr. Manmeet Singh, Mr. Arindam Das from Qualcomm for making it for this workshop reality. Definitely, our shared goal is to fuel innovation in India and empower the next generation of deep tech startups. CDOT and Qualcomm already share a strategic partnership to foster innovation in India and support India-based startups working on various innovative telecom solutions. This workshop, what we have done, is designed specifically for India's deep tech startups and professionals. It's definitely a great opportunity to dive deep into Qualcomm's latest offerings in telecom and ICT. They have various platforms, chips in various domain. I think how to use those chips to design products will be the focus of this workshop. In this workshop, startups, OEMs, and academia may look at uh, these chips which Qualcomm will present and how we can design products using this. And since we have domain experts from Qualcomm, any of your questions around that chips or technology, foundational technologies can be answered by Qualcomm. In fact, this I hope this particular workshop will help our startups and the agencies, organizations developing product to accelerate their R&D and commercialize new products and develop new use cases. And Qualcomm, I think, may like to partner with our Indian startups. They have the intention in building indigenous products and solutions based on Qualcomm technologies. So we are enabling this platform so that we connect all our startups to the Qualcomm technologies and the Qualcomm administration. Throughout the day, we will cover a range of critical connectivity technologies like Wi-Fi, FWA, IoT, 5G, and what is the 6G roadmap of Qualcomm. Recently, Qualcomm made a presentation in um, DOT on 6G, that what is happening 6G, what is happening in V2X platform, and how these things can create new products and new opportunities. So definitely, this is going to be a more than learning experience. It's a chance to build connections and explore potential partnerships. Qualcomm is actively seeking to collaborate with Indian startups to co-create indigenous products and solutions. I'm confident this will be an informative and inspiring event for everyone involved. As you may know or not know, we have an MOU with Qualcomm on supporting the startups. How startups can be supported in terms of because Qualcomm generally has a very huge fee, entry fee. So we have worked out some arrangement with Qualcomm that how this fee can be adjusted in terms of later sales, or so we'll work out based on the interest of the startups. So we'll work out with the startup and the Qualcomm to ensure that the key technologies of Qualcomm are available to our startups. And some places startups can work alone, some places startups can may like to partner with Qualcomm to develop the project jointly. So I wish this workshop a great success, and Anjali, over to you for the next session or whatever you have on the agenda. Thank you.
Hi, this is Savi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Mr.
Yes.
Savi, good morning. Good morning. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank
Good,
thank
good.
you.
So, welcome
Thank
to this
you, sir.
workshop. Thank you for joining. And, you joined at the right moment. I was just talking that, I don't know, you could hear what I
I
spoke.
heard you. I heard you
Yeah,
very well.
then fine.
I
Then
heard
fine.
you very
Thank you.
well. I think, look, very, Upadhyay ji, thank you very much for your time. And sorry, I couldn't be there in person, but this partnership with CDOT, this partnership with startups is very important to Qualcomm, right? Very, very important to Qualcomm. I think, and we are here to enable all the startups that are building products. Uh, I've been here, made dramatic changes in how Qualcomm supports startups and think are hindrances for of working with Qualcomm on our practices. We are open for business and very open to working with you guys. So I hope you hopefully useful.
We lost you.
For us in I think Qualcomm, as I keep
I think Savi, this is Manmeet here. I think he's in some bad area, connection area in the traffic. Uh, can you hear me?
No problem. Dr. Manmeet, you can take it forward.
Yeah. Thank you, Padaji, for giving us the chance. And thank you, everybody, from joining. I think just to repeat what Savi was saying, that this partnership with the startups and the startup ecosystem in India is very important for Qualcomm. What we are trying to cover in this workshop is an introductory session on multiple Qualcomm technologies, as Upadhyay ji mentioned. But of course, we'll have further discussions based on the interest of different startups and ecosystem partners, where we can go into details. And yes, we have understanding MOU with CDOT team, where we are trying to work out with CDOT team on how to enable with the minimum barrier all the startups and how to get the technology being developed in India for India. So with that in mind, I'll just move to the what is the agenda for this session. We will be covering. We will be starting with 5G advanced and 6G technologies. Then we also have an agenda on Wi-Fi, FWA, IoT connected IoT roadmap, and other IoT technologies which we have. AI is becoming very important, and we at Qualcomm believe that though there is a lot of use cases on the cloud, but with time, AI is on device. AI is getting a lot of traction, and most of the decisions due to data privacy as well as the cost of the cloud are going to happen on the devices. So even in the IoT space to mobile space, the edge-based AI models are becoming very important. So we'll be covering our a kind of roadmap of Qualcomm on what we are doing on the edge AI. And then I think we will conclude this stuff. But this is not all what Qualcomm does. There are a lot more things. But given the number of hours we have, we thought these are the these are the areas where most of the you will be interested. But if you have any other things or any other areas, we'll be very happy to take that feedback and plan another session on those. And I think with that, I will say we can move to the next section.
Yeah, thank you, Sri Singh, for those comprehensive context setting. Now let's get to the heart of the connectivity. Next speaker will walk us through two crucial technologies, Wi-Fi and fixed wireless access, or FWA. So please welcome Mr. Aditya Pandey, who's the Manager of Business Development and at Qualcomm. Mr. Pandey, the virtual stage is yours.
So, hi, thank you everyone to inviting me here. Thank you, Upadhyay ji. So there is a little bit change here. I think we will start with the 5G, 6G. I hope if it is not having
Yeah.
any issues.
So the reason for that change was that we thought like 5G, 6G will set the right context for all the following sessions. So
Yeah, okay.
Kartika from
So,
Qualcomm will be
Mr.
taking care of this session. So
Oh, okay, sure, please.
Kartika, over to you.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Give me Kartika printer. Is it the correct PPT? 5G only. Kartika, you can go to the right PPT.
Yeah. Just give me one.
So this one, the PPT we sent had all the details. If you can go to the next section, it is already this should have all the sections in it.
Can I
So,
get control?
Kartika, you've been made the presenter. You can scroll through the PPT. Are you able to?
Yes, I'm trying to. Yeah. I think
Yeah, please carry on.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Upadhyay ji. It's been a pleasure to be here and speak about the vision for 6G and what is happening in 5G Advanced. And in the next 30 minutes, I'll go through how Qualcomm is driving the innovation in the 5G Advanced and 6G space, and what are the key features that are being discussed in the industry ecosystem and even in the standard space. I think let's begin with the timeline on how 5G has evolved over time, and it's paving the path towards 6G. So 5G started in release 15, and there have been several features that have been introduced in 3GPP to support the different capabilities. And now we are at the point of 5G Advanced, that is the release 19 is being discussed in the standards and is wrapped up, and we are going into the release 20, which is the 5G Advanced phase from release 18 onwards. And this is there's a lot of innovation and new capabilities introduced into the standards even in 5G Advanced. And these are paving the foundations for 6G as we discuss. And 6G has some foundational research, the steady item proposals and work item trials and all that will happen as we go towards 6G to be completed by 2030. So that's the timeline where we are at. And the release, the 3GPP steady items are going to start in the August meeting that's going to be held in Bangalore, India. And that would be the first meeting for 6G steady and all the proposals that will come in. And it's an exciting time to be in the wireless field because there's a lot of innovation happening in the 6G space. Before I go into the details on what the 6G technology advancements are, I'd like to briefly touch upon what is happening in 5G Advanced, right? Like what are the key items that are being discussed in 5G Advanced? Again, when I speak about 5G Advanced, I'm here specifically referring to the release 20, the steady item and work item topics that have been approved. And this is happening across the working groups, as I show here, right? Like there's RAN working groups and even the system architecture working groups where the discussions are happening. And this is to support the evolution that has happened in 5G so far and take care of the other pending items. Like in the AI/ML space, there's a lot of work happening still on the optimizing the air interface and the mobility using the AI/ML features. And also, ambient IoT is another key aspect that's been introduced in the release in 5G Advanced and is still evolving for outdoor spaces. How do you support these ambient IoT devices? And the other key aspect that's been discussed across the working groups is this NTN, the non-terrestrial network connectivity related enhancements, specifically like handover related enhancements, and then the GNSS resilient NRNTN. And finally, the other enhancement is on optimizing the performance for XR in NR. Right? There has been, as we see in the RAN 2, this is a phase 4 of the work item. There has been enhancements that were supported in the previous releases, and we are discussing further enhancements to be done in the 5G Advanced. So even in the 5G Advanced space, there is some exciting work happening on these different topics. And as I show in the next set of slides, we'll see how 6G is, what are the key topics or what are the key areas of interest for 6G in this space. And this is a key picture that is demonstrating the ITU-R vision for 6G requirements. Right? It's primarily focused on delivering ultra reliable low latency performance and a very high mobility support for the use cases that can be supported on the 6G networks, and also a very high connection density or massive device density in the networks. And these capabilities will support and enable these new use cases like hyper reliable low latency communications, or we could even talk about integrated sensing and communications. And the other key item is this immersive communications. I will discuss some of these details in the later slides. But all these are, and the ubiquitous connectivity where TN and NTN connectivity is very critical. And all these will be supported by leveraging several new capabilities, right? Like AI native or sustainability and providing centimeter level accuracy for positioning. These are very important technology features that will enable these new services and new use cases for 6G. So I think, as I was saying, 6G, the key vision is to deliver or provide transformational user experiences. It's not just about the data speed, but it's also to provide new user experiences and services at scale in the 6G network. And that's primarily driven by these three fundamental transformational technologies like immersive and multimodal AI communications, AI-enabled real-time services, digital twin, and wireless sensing. So immersive and multimodal AI communications. So this will enable several new use cases like XR, which we are already seeing in 5G Advanced, but enable that along with holographic communications across multiple devices and leverage the support of distributed compute and communications in this network so that the immersive and multimodal AI communications will deliver transformational user experience in this space. And AI-enabled real-time services on all the devices. We can have this support not just on the devices, but also on the network so that the network automation becomes easier and the network performance efficiency can be improved. And this can be supported using AI-native designs in the network and also user experience aware RAN adaptation. I'll talk a little more on these two aspects in the later slides, but these are the foundational technologies that will enable these real-time AI-enabled services. And the third aspect is on the digital twin and wireless sensing. This is very fundamental to support the new use cases like asset tracking, industrial automation, and drones. And this can be supported by using spatial mapping and efficient network management using the digital twin and wireless sensing technologies in the 6G space. And as I was saying, AI is fundamental to the transformation of 6G. And the one key aspect to mention here is agentic AI. Agentic AI allows autonomous agents to optimize the network performance and device performance over the air interface and even support network automation. Agentic AI, in our view, can be used to support like operator services as shown in the left. There could be agentic AI applications like a personal assistant deployed in the network operators network to support the different use cases. And these applications can be built or hosted on behalf of third parties in the operator's network. so that the performance, it can be used as a personal assistant to debug issues or support the network related um, uh, services. The agentic AI can also be used to optimize the device and network performance. That is, there could be an agent like an API supported on the device in the network that can be used to drive the network agent and the device agent to make to make decisions and drive the models on the device to optimize the performance. That's like the parameters for the air interface could be configured and optimized to support a better performance across the system. So the agentic AI is at very early stages in 3GPP, and we think that this should be an optional capability because not all devices have the capability to support AI agents. So it should be an optional capability with, again, compliance with regulations and privacy, because this is running on the devices and it's critical that the regulations and privacy requirements are supported by these AI agents. So this is one foundational shift that we are seeing in supporting AI and using it in the 6G network, across the 6G network. The next aspect is, in addition to agents, we think that AI is driving transformation across the 6G system, right? It's not just the network, but also on the device at various levels. It could be the protocol design, or it could be the CI/CD or the network automation aspect. So the AI is finding its space, and there is a lot of innovation happening across the system. And I think I would like to break this down into three aspects: fundamentally AI on RAN, AI for RAN, and AI in RAN. So AI services on RAN and device, right? Like there could be AI-driven services that are present both on the RAN and the device, so that we can enable new use cases. These use cases are optimized for performance and QoS, like XR use cases, gaming use cases. These fundamental use cases can be supported with the better performance once we have these AI-driven services both on the network and the device. And the second one is AI for RAN, especially for network automation. The device also has a part in this, where the device can have these AI agents, as I was showing in the previous slide, which take intents, like device intents are given to these agents. They perform measurements and support the RAN automation in that sense. And these RAN and network agents can collect data and use this for identifying any issues or debugging the network issues. And all this is automated through the support of these AI solutions for RAN. The third aspect is AI in the RAN itself. And this is mainly for efficient data-driven wireless interface. So this is where the whole, either it could be the file layer related optimizations or the MAC layer related optimizations. At the protocol layer, each layer can have AI-driven models which optimized for performance and which can drive the performance on the air interface across both the device and the network. And that's where there could be an upgrade to the CU or the RAN itself to support these new AI models and the AI architecture, so that the performance of the wireless air interface is optimized and is better in 6G. And in addition to that, AI it can also make or drive transformation in the CI/CD and MLOps space, where there could be rapid deployment of the new 3GP features. It would not be any disruptive to the legacy technologies, but it could be used to leverage the evolving cloud platforms and tools and support a rapid deployment of the 3GPP features. And also this distributed cloud is something that's already happening in 5G. And here in case of 6G, it could be a distributed central cloud and a telco edge cloud. And we are seeing proposals from companies that this telco edge cloud, where the infrastructure could be shared for both AI and the 6G RAN workload. So this is a virtualized telco workload on the cloud, so that the data centers could be in central or edge cloud, and they could be used to share this AI and RAN workload on the same infrastructure. So AI is driving transformation across the 6G system in these various spaces. And it's a fundamental technology where there's a lot of innovation happening as well. And the next slide is specifically showing what we mean by the AI native, right? Like one example on where the AI AI is driving the performance. So with this adaptive intelligence and using AI native across the protocols layers, we feel that in 6G should deliver the performance driven user experience as opposed to 5G. In 5G, if this is a stack where every the configuration is provided by the network and most of the configuration is static, and the device is behaving according to this configuration, and is performance is more or less, the behavior is fixed even in different cases. But in 6G, what we feel is that the device can adapt and use the AI models to intelligently behave and provide the best user experiences by a performance driven approach, where the network parameters are adapted intelligently. So there is a range of values that the device is given, and the device can choose within this range based on the conditions the device is operating in. And again, this is of course with the network supervision to meet the KPIs, but there's a lot more flexibility to adapt based on the conditions the device is in to provide a better user experience. And and in that sense, we feel that 6G is providing a paradigm shift from confirmation to adaptation and performance driven optimizations with AI native. So far we discussed on how AI and AI native is going to drive the transformations in the 6G system. And these are some of the fundamental ideas that are being discussed as we speak. And even there are proposals that came up in the workshops and the plenary meetings of 3GPP. Now, in addition to AI, there is also a fundamental shift that we think that the 6G networks can have, especially in terms of converging the RAN, the SMO, and the core with hybrid cloud platforms. As I said, distributed cloud is something that's been adopted by some of the operators across the world. There are like telco edge clouds and central clouds. And I think this slide is trying to emphasize that once we have this distributed RAN, right, like the CU and the DU are distributed, and even the core network entities are distributed and they are deployed in the central cloud, if these deployments can leverage the foundational cloud services, like either for AIML, data processing, storage, telemetry, and even security. There are these foundational cloud services that are available, and these are something outside of 3GPP and standards, but these are foundational technologies that are used by the hypervisors in the hybrid cloud infrastructure. It makes sense to leverage these platforms even for the telco networks. And this will be very cost efficient in terms of leveraging the same services to manage your networks on the core, or even for the management of the RAN infrastructure on the telco edge clouds. So this will be the foundational cloud services will help scale the system for all these hybrid cloud, multi-tenant platforms, and for distributing the network functions across these deployments. And another aspect is, so far we have spoke about like what are these some of the foundational or the key technology aspects that are driving 6G. But in addition to that, one of the key aspects to discuss is today operators have 5G network and 5G deployments. So what is the way to migrate to 6G with a minimal impact to the 5G networks, but at the same time achieve a better performance on 6G in the initial stages of deployments? And that's what the slide is showing, that there are these multiple options that are under discussion. And the key aspects are multi-RAT spectrum sharing. If there are deployments where there are existing 5G carriers, and if you want to leverage these 5G bands even to support the initial 6G networks and the 6G rollouts, can the spectrum be shared across these 5G and 6G systems? So that these bands can be leveraged for 6G, and 6G performance would also be fine on the day one. And this is where the multi-RAT spectrum sharing is being discussed as among the companies, and it's gaining some traction. But in addition to that, there's a complementary solution that is also being discussed, because the spectrum sharing is going to work as long as these 5G bands are available and can be leveraged to 6G. But the sharing of spectrum will have an impact on the 5G deployments, because these users have to share the spectrum across the 6G devices as well. So that has an impact on the 5G and the 5G evolution in terms of capacity. So that's where the other solution that's being discussed is, in addition to this, can we also look at improving user experience with aggregation? So that's where, if the device by itself, like the dual SIM devices that we see in the Indian market, which have like both 4G and 5G, something similar to that, can the devices that are deployed in the initial phases of 6G have support for both 5G and 6G, so that they can connect to these two networks independently and support aggregation of the traffic, so that the performance of the user experience is better on 6G even on day one, even though the 6G is deployed in certain limited bands and there is some shared band with 5G, then the network and the device can actually do aggregation of the traffic on both these independent links and support a better performance. And there are two options being discussed here. One is the dual connectivity. And this is an option which, as we know in 5G, this is the NSA, or the non-standalone deployment, where there is the 4G, the LTE network, and the 5G network, and the device connects to both the networks, and there is a lot of coordination happening on the radio access network, a tight coordination on the radio access network to provide a better performance for the device. So the same option can be discussed in 6G as well, where the 5G and the 6G RAN, they coordinate to ensure that there is a better user experience for the device when connected to the 5G and the 6G networks. Or the other option is, if we don't want to touch the legacy systems, either the 5G RAN or have the RANs coordinate, can there be something like a dual stack where the networks are independent and the aggregation happens on the top, either in the 6G core or the 5G core, which has evolved for 6G networks, or it's happening at a layer above in the application, like MPTCP and MP-Quick are two good examples of where multipath is leveraged in the system today over the top to support better user experience. So similar technologies can be used in the initial days of 6G to support better user experience on 6G as we evolve towards the complete 6G migration. So these are two fundamental technologies that are being discussed. And I think this slide is kind of touching upon the previous one. As I was saying, if we want to have this migration to 6G with spectrum sharing or with dual connectivity or dual stack, then how does this 6G RAN look like? And I think one of the fundamental goal or the design goal for 6G is to reuse the infrastructure as much as possible, and also extend the front haul evolution that's already happening in 5G, even for 6G. And the reuse is in terms of the 5G DU, the 5G RUs that are present in the network today. Can they be evolved to support the 6G RAN share, 6G spectrum sharing as well, without any tower climb for the 6G, right? So that's where the reuse can happen. And whereas for the new 6G bands, there could be new 6G RUs that are deployed for the new bands. And this front haul evolution can still evolve the open front haul that's being defined for the new 6G features. Like there are these several layer 1 driven features, like subband full duplex that's happening, SRF based downlink precoding, or even the layer 2 driven and service driven enhancements, right? These could still evolve and happen on the open front haul to support these spectrum sharing related deployments. So this is where the 6G RAN need not be a complete, only for the new bands you have 6G new RUs, but the existing bands, the 5G RU can be repurposed to support the 6G. So that's how we see that the 6G RAN infrastructure could evolve to support these new 6G deployments and the 6G on day one from migrating to 5G. I think the next slide is going to touch upon, the next few slides are going to touch upon the digital twin aspects. And my colleague Rajiv will go over the rest of the slides. Thanks, everyone. Rajiv, are you there? Um,
Can you hear me? Katil, can you hear me?
Yes, Rajiv, please proceed. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. So good morning, everyone. Thanks, Kartika, for covering the initial part. What I want to basically cover today in few slides, I believe I have about 10 minutes. So I'll quickly go through the content on a digital twin, which is one of the key themes basically pursued in 6G context, and it is being developed more like a versatile technology, which not only works on the improvement and automation of the cellular networks, but also basically becomes a source of generating new type of services that the operator and networks can basically leverage for more revenue generation and more differentiable service offering. So what you see on the screen right now. Let me use Yeah, what you see on the screen right now basically is a high level conceptual architecture of a digital twin. What it consists of basically is multiple sources of input which forms the digital twin. So which ranges basically from the KPI or performance metrics, which are legacy captured or recorded basically in the network, either standardized in 3GPP or over and above that. Then a lot of basically information about modeling the radio channels and radio frequencies in the different scenarios and networks, right? And then a lot of this basically also comes from some kind of vision technologies like cameras, CCTV cameras, or some specific cameras for monitoring of the network, and so on and so forth. So basically, which talks about the physical world mapping, which could be simple 2D maps or 3D maps, and then could be as detailed as CAD drawings or even building structures or architectures, right? That can be fed. So the overall idea basically is here is to do one thing, right? One, which is to basically model the physical world in a digital representation, which is certainly not a new thing. It has been done basically for city planning, municipal management, and various things. But here, probably the level of modeling basically will be more refined and grained because we are talking about further utilization of digital twin model for mimicking the radio behavior, EM wave behavior, and then predicting the radio performances and spectral efficiencies and things like that, right? So that is one part of the story. Then the second part of the story is basically this itself will have the network nodes, right? For example, in 5G networks, you have G node, BCU, DU, and all, and user devices. Even the modeling of them basically in a digital world, right? So these infra nodes itself or the network elements itself has to become a part of a digital environment and have a digital representation of themselves, right? Now, on top of that, basically, then you talk about the user distributions, traffic profiles, what kind of services they are offered in field, what kind of services or the new use case. Basically, the operators are trying to evaluate to see whether they can offer them with the reliability and then the quality of service guarantees and things like that. So so whatever we can think of basically are the various problem areas where each and every leg of cellular communication system works today, right? Has to be basically replicated into a digital environment. Now, this building a system like this basically it kind of utilizes the state of art technologies from various aspects of science and technology today, right? So for example, computer vision, right? You need a lot of graphics in computer vision to model a 3D reality, right? Similarly, basically a lot of information about topology, terrain, the kind of layouts in the cities. Everything is part of a big geographical information systems, which are available basically these days, right, for various other applications. Then on top of all, basically, we are talking about a state-of-art technology utilization from machine learning world, right, where we are now modeling a complex behavior like, you can say cellular communication from not only one-to-one devices, but we are talking about one-to-many devices or thousands or millions of devices on field to predict the performance or to predict the future behavior in case of some network modifications or automation changes are required. And then to make this entire the tool which the digital twin will become, right, more rich and more diverse, will integrate it with many more sensors, right? It could be sensors about, let's say, for example, the weather, the temperature, right? It could be something as simple as basically blockade, or maybe a vision kind of a thing where you have no, okay, on cross sections, junctions, how traffic is building up. So these kind of things, basically, the more diverse sensors and input data you add, the more rich the digital twin becomes, and then the more complex questions you can ask a twin, right? So what you see on the left plane of the image is also really some of the classical use cases. So the first and foremost is basically the network dimensioning. So what we are saying is basically using digital twin, you can scale or model the networks of sixth generation or even beyond future generations, right? Right before the actual deployment or even putting the first RU in the field, you can probably simulate and predict what kind of performance you will get, what kind of returns on your investment you will get. So those kind of a thing. Then, like in kind of an indoor spaces, office spaces, you can think about basically, doing some kind of a perception-based beam management. That could be a use case where you can beat the interference, you can beat the blockages, and you can get the quality of service that you can only imagine of, right? And one of the key use cases, basically, as what Karthik was talking in a couple of slides back, was having AI everywhere in the network stack or the device stack, where now individual protocol modules or blocks are becoming more intelligent than only the classical static configuration or verified configuration test, right? So they will adapt. They will adapt and evolve to the situation. Now, how do you train a plethora of those kind of models? Where do you get this, terabytes of data to really train these models? So digital twins are going to be the main source or the primary source of generating those kind of data, so that you can build those models, which will now become inherent part of your 6G system and will make an adaptive system a more intelligent and smart system, right? So that is one. And now another field, basically, where you can think of this as a broad deployment is like automotive section, where we are talking about some kind of integrated sections of intelligence built over sensors, vision, cameras, and some other twin information which is aware about the topology of the map, right? So if you combine all these things together, what you see is basically you can offer some valid services or useful services which are kind of reflected on the right of this slide. You can talk about, for example, the entire fleet management of drones, right? You can do the navigation, you can do the tracking, real-time tracking, giving the best of the communication links to them so that they can download a lot of data that they are sensing, right? Similarly, maybe in a shipyard, dockyard, you can do a lot of fleet management. You can do a lot of logistics management. You can do the route planning, things like that, which basically is not possible today, or you require basically multiple specialized tools to do that, right? So in short, basically, digital twins basically will become inherent part of the next generation of technology, both for building the system itself, making them more smarter, more autonomous, and in addition to that, offering new areas of services which can become the stream of revenues for operators. I'll go to the next slide. Pratika, can you move? I'm not able to move slide.
Let me try, Rajiv. I don't have control.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. It worked. Okay. Fine. It's a bit slow. Yeah. So then, couple of next slide. Basically, what I want to talk about is the work which Qualcomm has been doing for the last couple of years in this area. So the current slide talks about some demonstration that we did in the Mobile World Congress this year in Q1. And that was talking about the existing 5G networks, where we demonstrated that using a digital twin built for a large warehouse kind of a setup in our San Diego office, we could demonstrate the feasibility of the network slicing, right? One of the key feature basically of 5G, which was expected to give differentiation of services to the users and a kind of a revenue stream for operators to leverage the maximum out of their existing network resources, right? So this kind of experiment was set up, and it kind of showed that the network operators can ask this digital twin basically about some kind of a configuration. For example, let's say network is running, let's say, 1,000 or 10,000 users basically in a particular set of base stations or cells, and offering, let's say, certain throughput, certain latency targets on an average over them. And then, if for example, operator wanted to ask that, can I basically carve out an LLC kind of a service from my premium customer, right? Maybe some guy who is doing some kind of logistics or cold storage management and requires a lot of heavy vehicles moving around, but controlled in real time about their temperature, pressure, and all those things, and needs a reliable QoS, right? But that basically promises a better revenue, which is over and above the general user. So this digital twin basically would take that into account. It will run thousands and thousands of simulations, right, using the enhanced technologies of machine learning, so that it can be done in a reasonable amount of time compared to the classical simulators, and then will basically project the performance impacts on all or the entire network for that, right? So the slide is very dense. It kind of tried capturing a lot of comparative analysis, showing basically that what, for example, was measured on the ground in one of the color code bars, basically, and what the digital twin was predicting. So at high level, what you can see is basically, you will see most of these bars are very comparable, meaning to say that twins are actually able to predict a lot about the network behavior and performance. So what does it mean? Basically, it basically means that even all the use cases that we have talked about in the previous half an hour, right, of network migration, resource utilization, spectrum sharing, or resharing of the reforming of the spectrum, all those kind of cases can be basically analyzed well before the actual deployment in the field or impact to the network. So that basically brings back, a lot of stability, resilience in the network. You don't, and you have basically a predictive behavior of the network, right? And similarly, there was another use case basically that we demonstrated in last demonstration in MWC itself, which was about the beamforming. So this is again a bit limited scope, meaning to say a more focus on the physical layer features and aspect, dealing with basically the beamforming part, right? So saying that, okay, digital twins assessing the location of the devices, finding out the clusters, for example, where the devices are, can vector their beamforming resources and focus basically on those areas, giving them better, link capacity and link budget basically. So what you can see again here in this plot, basically, it was demonstrated that in our office space in San Diego, we could test that if we do this kind of digital twin assistance for the hybrid beamforming, we could do a better capacity offering basically to the users in that particular area. So like that, basically, we have been doing a couple of other demonstrations in last 2 years. In MWS 24 also we did that, which was talking about some kind of a positioning assistance using this digital twin. In addition to that, as Kartika was talking, basically, we have been working on various other technologies which will become the foundation technologies enabling 6G, right? And to name few of them, basically, it's like working on an improved and waveform, better coding schemes, right? You could say like the inclusion of the native AI on various network elements. That is one. Then enhancement in the spectrum sharing space, basically opening up some new spectral spaces, basically for improving the downlink speed without having a requirement of putting a lot of hardware and densification of the network, right? And then let's say the availability of the satellite connectivity, a seamless connectivity from day one. So like that basically, and then on the capacity part, maybe like things like gigamimo, sub-band full duplexes or enhanced millimeter wave, and some kind of integrated sensing. So that kind of brings both like the making network more about the surrounding and making it more intelligent in how it utilizes and resources basically for getting the best out of the network resources. So these are some of the areas basically we are working, and Qualcomm is contributing heavily on the standard side on this. Yeah, so overall, basically, the next gen wireless, as we are saying, right, will be intelligent computing, right? It will become the backbone of the society because it will kind of influence almost everything. So each one of the bubbles that you see on this image or the slide, right, kind of talks about one particular technology, which, for example, connected healthcare, right, everywhere, right, or air mobility, as I was talking about, basically the drone or fleet management, right, and maybe even better, basically the ambient IoT devices and solutions, right? Or for example, on the pure entertainment part, like an immersive entertainment, which consists of AR, XR classes, right? Having the possibility to have offloading of compute, offloading of AI inferences between network element devices, making it completely seamless, right? To give the experience which was never before, right? So that is what is all about 6G, and this for certainly will enable a lot of economic opportunities, for the countries, for the operators, bringing this digital and virtual world together. Yeah, that's all I had. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, Mr. Rajiv and Ms. Kartika, for your very insightful presentation. So I'd now like to invite Mr. Aditya for
Uh,
his talk on Wi-Fi and FWA.
Anjali, can I, because Anjali, can I speak for a minute before I leave the?
Sure, sir. Please.
Yeah, I think
The
both the
stage is yours.
presentations were wonderful, very good, very detailed one. Since I have other work, I'm leaving the workshop. I request the Qualcomm leadership, to also cover how you will enable this chip to our startups. What, how will you ease out the problems of use entry fee, and I think what we have been working with Qualcomm, and Qualcomm has been very supportive. So I think there are a lot of startups in the meeting. I would request at some point of time Qualcomm leadership should touch upon the models, or what are the ways we can enable the chip technology to for our startups without a huge entry barrier. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope the Qualcomm team will address these points which you have raised. Also, I see a query from Mr. Umesh Singh, again raising the similar query as CEO sir has highlighted about a startup company and that Qualcomm tends to offer special pricing to larger players. So you can please incorporate that as part of your upcoming talks. So Mr. Aditya, over to you now. Mr. Aditya, you're not audible. Aditya, are you facing any issues? You will have to switch on your mic, Mr. Aditya. Um,
Aditya, we are not able to hear you.
Aditya, you are unmuted. So I think
I think
you can start.
Anjali, if Aditya can just log off and maybe log in again, maybe that will.
Yes, you can try that. Please log off and log in again if you are able to hear me. Oh. Hmm.
Hello. Hello. Am I
Yes, you're
audible?
audible, Aditya. Yes, please carry on.
Sorry for that inconvenience. So, hi, and thank you, Dr. Upadhyay and CDOT team for inviting us for this workshop. So, this is Aditya Pandey. I'm the part of Qualcomm India team, business development. I'm handling the Wi-Fi business in India. And today I'll take you through this Wi-Fi overview sessions, right? So as Manmeet rightly set the context before, like we have a lot more to offer, but I think seeing the time constraint, like I have tried to cover as much as possible in this session. So the today's agenda is like how the Qualcomm became a global Wi-Fi leader, and then I'll give you a brief story like how this Wi-Fi things start, as many of you already knows, like how the Wi-Fi evolved through the year, and right now where are we, how this changes came, and then I will take you through that Wi-Fi 7 overview, what Qualcomm is doing with the MLO features and Wi-Fi Dragonwing silicon chipsets offerings what we have right now. And there is a very proprietary Qualcomm software-defined Wi-Fi and a few example of this software-defined Wi-Fi as in like smart traffic classifier and some innovative AI gateway solutions by Qualcomm. So, as we said that we are a global Wi-Fi leader, innovating since 1998. So, I'll give you some brief. Like the Wi-Fi starts from mid of like after 1998, and then mid of 1999. There is a 2 Mbps speed, 2 to 11 Mbps speed started with the DSSS direct sequencing sped spectrum, and then there is, and it was on 2.4 gigahertz, and from there that Wi-Fi 2, Wi-Fi 3, like IEEE standard came, right? And right now we are at like talking on the Wi-Fi 7, like we are we have developed Wi-Fi 7, and maybe next time when we have a workshop we will having a Wi-Fi 8 also, the solution be ready from the Qualcomm side. So we already started working on the Wi-Fi 8. So as you can say that we are number one in the Wi-Fi global Wi-Fi shipments. Okay, so we have done I think 7.5 billion plus Wi-Fi products shipped from past 10 years. We have Wi-Fi 6, 6E design wins across all the product lines, more than 1600 plus. Wi-Fi 7 design wins, even like its data is 450 plus, but it is nearing more than 1,000 plus Wi-Fi 7 designs we have already done across the platform, including the access point, routers, gateways, smartphones, tablets, and PCs. Then, like we are first to market in 2022. We had this Elder and Waikiki is the internal name, but we made a lot of improvements. These are like very high end and high performances chipset. So we made a cost reduced platform in June 2023, and further the reduction has planned for Marina, and that is also being deployed to the many regions. We have a 250 plus Wi-Fi 7 Win design launched or in development right now. And as I said in the beginning of this meeting, like we are talking right now on the Wi-Fi 7, but yeah, we already started. Qualcomm already started developing the Wi-Fi 8, and maybe the next year or coming year we'll be talking more on the Wi-Fi 8 features. So these are the Qualcomm Networking Pro Series platform. So as you know that we have a Dragonwing Qualcomm Dragonwing portfolio. So we migrated all our networking pro solutions starting from Wi-Fi 6, 400, 600, 800, and 1200 platform. All our Wi-Fi 6 generations has been named as NP6. Then Wi-Fi 6E has been named as Dragonwing NP6E. And then the third generation, which is Wi-Fi 7, which is right now reversalizing India startups and multi enterprise level businesses. And this is like Wi-Fi 7 we are working right now. We have also offering of Wi-Fi 7 plus AI features, and I will take you through in the subsequent slides how it is benefiting in this most stream required environment. So there is a as I said, like in 1999, we have started like Wi-Fi 6 802.11b, which was giving a 11 Mbps, and then the technology evolved, and we got Wi-Fi 2, which is 11.g, and then 11.a, which was the 5 gigahertz, and then 11G came, right? And then 11N Wi-Fi 4 came, and it has introduced like MIMO features, multi-input, multi-output. And as you know, like the technology evolves, we want more performances, right? Because there's AR, streaming, more business critical analysis are being done. So we have offerings in both 2x2 Wi-Fi 6 and 4x4 Wi-Fi 6. And I just wanted to go through like what are the advantages of this 2x2 versus 4x4. So if you see that 2x2 can support the 2 spatial streams, where 4x4 can support 4 spatial streams. So eventually it can increase the throughput, and based on the requirement, there is a moderate throughput in 2x2 MIMO. 2x2 MIMO is suitable for smaller areas like homes or small offices. 4x4 is for the better and larger areas like indoor stadiums or some airport or railway platforms, right? And the 2x2 MIMO, as it is half of the feature of the 4x4, so it will take the lower power uses. And when the demand of the data streaming is high, like and then you deploy the 4x4 MIMO, your power will be a little bit higher. So I have a very good slide to show you like what are the capability of 2x2 and 4x4 Wi-Fi 6 based, and I just wanted to give you a pictorial representation in which that Qualcomm FEM based whole home coverage performances, how it is showing. So as you see, if the path loss, this is the room structure we have taken the concrete walls, what is the size of brick and what are the environments, and all these environment we have taken into the consideration. And as we increase the path loss, if you see this 4 cross 4, 40 megahertz, 2.4 gigahertz, the throughput is it is supporting up to like 40 meters. You can still get from 530 to 23 mbps of speed up to 40 meters, but inside the house you will not get lot of degradation in the performances, and still you will be able to get like 305 mbps of speed. So your throughput is not degraded with the 4 cross 4 MIMO. And in 2 cross 2, the throughput for 2.4 gigahertz will be maximum you can get nearby the access point, which is in the room environment, which is 478 mbps. And as you go away from the routers, the speed will be like 194 mbps, which is also very good. Like if you talk about 20 meters, and if you'll go beyond, like outside of the home, and you will be able to get at least 10 mbps speed at the 40 meters. Similarly, like for 4 cross 4, this is the in 2.4 gigahertz. As we like government has already started drafting for the delicensing of the 6 gigahertz, but I have covered here what we have right now. This is 5 gigahertz and 2 gigahertz band. And if you see the performances of 4 cross 4 and 2 cross 2 in the 5 gigahertz, the throughput in the 5 gigahertz is the maximum you will get as 47 dB of attenuation is 2307 mbps, where in 2 cross 2 160 megahertz you will get 2082 mbps. And as like you will go beyond that, there is the path loss will be increases, and up to the path loss of 117 dB, you can say like there's a lot of obstruction that will be there. Still, you will be able to get 11 mbps of the speed in 4 cross 4 MIMO. So that is the advantage I wanted to show you with the pictorial representation, so that it should be clear like what is the difference between 2 cross 2 MIMO and 4 cross 4 MIMO with the whole home coverage scenario. Now I have talked about Wi-Fi 6, and there is a lot of benefit of Wi-Fi 7 I just wanted to highlight here. So Wi-Fi 7 till Wi-Fi 6 we have supported till 160 megahertz bandwidth. The COM support is till 1024, and the maximum speed in 2 cross 2 you will be able to get up to 9.6 Gbps. But if you see that the highlight point of Wi-Fi 7 is that 240 megahertz bandwidth and 320 megahertz bandwidth you can get in Wi-Fi 7. There's a faster connection. The COM has been increased from 1024 to 4K COM, which is 4096 COM. There is a multiple connection, multi-link operation is possible, which is the USP of Wi-Fi 7. And then some adaptive connection like interference puncturing, right? So if any of the channel is interference prone, there is a very nice feature of Wi-Fi 7 that it will puncture that section, and it will give you the seamless connectivity with the help of this MRU puncturing resources. So that is the overview of Wi-Fi 7. And some of the features I just wanted to show you, which we have covered in the last slide, but I will take you a little bit more. So this wider channel bandwidth availability MIMO only, you will be able to get 11.3 Gbps of the Ethernet of the wireless speed. And the COM support is the 4K COM, so your connectivity will be very seamless. If you see that we were talking about the puncturing of the interference puncturing, so if you see if this section of area is punctured, there's an interference, the MRU will not, the multi-RU will not allocate the resources to this section, and you will get the seamless connectivity, which was not till Wi-Fi 6 features, and then multi RU OFDMA. So this Wi-Fi 7 works on OFDMA. There is a new feature comes on the multi RU OFDMA. And this there's a very special feature here is like I will go in the subsequent slides of like how the multiple connection multi link MLO can be utilized. So there is a two multi-link connection. One is the simultaneous multi-link connection, and another one is the alternating multi-link connection. We can use it in the various use cases such as mesh, and I'll give the brief about it in the next slide. So first of all, I just wanted to go what is the MLO feature. So you this MLO feature has been involved in Wi-Fi 7. So it can utilize any of the two bands of the Wi-Fi. As you all know, like Wi-Fi works on 2.4 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz, and then 6 gigahertz is also coming till 7.125 gigahertz. So the AP and the ML client, the client should also be like ML enabled, and it can make a multiple link various based on like 5 gigahertz and 6 gigahertz, 5 and 2.4 gigahertz, 2.4 and 6 gigahertz, based on like the configuration user can make it. And if you see like there is a ML1 and ML2, there is a multi link is there. You can make a number of multi-link SSIDs and support your mesh nodes and the clients. So client connectivity will also be increased, latency will reduced, and the backhaul system, like earlier we were getting a very traditional backhaul or single high-speed backhaul kind of thing. Now we can provide a multiple link as a backhaul into the system. So the client connectivity will not be interrupted and the latency will be reduced. So this is the this is very good slide to understand like what is the MLO can offer right now. So this is the traditional mesh Wi-Fi where we were using any of like in India it was like 2.4 and 5 gigahertz was available till now, and the 6 gigahertz coming now. So what we used to do, like any non-interference channel, let's say in 5 gigahertz, we connected as a backhaul high-speed channels for the backhaul purpose, and then the same like channel which is adjacent to the channel which is used for the backhauling. We connect some clients, some legacy channels of 2.4 gigahertz. We connect some low speed IoT devices, right, on the Wi-Fi. So if you see that there's not a full utilization of the speed and the latency is increased in with connecting with the clients. So I will take you this Qualcomm multi-link mesh operation. The biggest advantage here is like you can make multiple number of multi-link backhaul connections in 5 gigahertz, in 6 gigahertz, combination of the 5, 6 and 2.4 gigahertz. So there is not a single backhauling channel is there. Like you can get a high speed channel A, high speed channel B as a backhaul. If you are providing a dedicated backhaul on the high speed channel A, you can use this high speed channel B as providing the connectivity to the ML clients, and some legacy clients can be connected to 2.4 gigahertz or any legacy band. So you are going to utilize the full speed. And if you see like compared to the traditional mesh, the latency is like coming to even lesser than that, like in 2 to 5 milliseconds only. So this is what this slide I just wanted to put in front of you. Like this is what Wi-Fi market transition is. Like we started with the Wi-Fi 1, but I have kept only Wi-Fi 4, 5, 6, and 6E and 7 because as the like demand of the high speed and business critical and the analytics is increasing day by day. So if you see this Wi-Fi 6 and 6E is already reached like 80% of the residential market by 2025. Wi-Fi 7 reached 54 markets residentially by 2027, and expect Wi-Fi 7 to have a majority market share by 2027 to 2029. And we already, the Qualcomm already started working on Wi-Fi 8 roadmap. And if you see that there is a 4 years gap between deploying Wi-Fi 7 launch to the Wi-Fi 8 launch, maybe the next time we'll be talking about the Wi-Fi 8 features and Wi-Fi 8 roadmap. So there is a like already a development going on, and we'll take you next time on the Wi-Fi 8 platforms as well. So yeah, this is the Qualcomm advantage. Like we have extensive, like in the first slide, I told you like how we are the technology leadership. Like QC is the first to make Wi-Fi 7 and minimizes OEM and service provider risk. So there is a risk involved in Wi-Fi 6 and various other platforms. We have minimized in Wi-Fi 7, and OEM can take into the and faster go to market. So Wi-Fi 7 product readiness is we have I showed in the previous slides, we have a Wi-Fi 7 product offerings, right? SoCs, we have a 10G Ethernet PHYs, even we are having a FEMs as well. We have AP and client based reference design, which startups and OEMs can take and utilize it, and can go into the market very fast. We have a portfolio for the fiber, Ethernet, and fixed wireless access points. So it is including all the FEMs, filters, right? Wi-Fi. You can use it as a XGS PON and make it a 5G FWA also. We are working on the 50G PON also, and Wi-Fi 8 is already in the queue. So some software initiative also we have done, which is I will take you in the subsequent slides. The most important is the service defined Wi-Fi, which is we are offering with the Wi-Fi 7 platforms, and some carrier software initiatives for the broadband, which is RDKB, OpenWRT. We are using the latest OpenWRT. We are working and designs are and the workshop is already done with the OpenSync, Purple OS, AirTies, Voice, and we have a many devices and offerings in the AFC. So we have a software synergy across the platform, right? So if you use our Wi-Fi 7 or Wi-Fi 6 platform, we have a software synergy. We use a common SPF all across the platform. So this is the very good feature of Qualcomm service defined Wi-Fi. As you guys knowing, like there is a, and I have already gone through how this Wi-Fi things start. We started with the 11 Mbps, then in 54 Mbps, then 400 Mbps maximum speed. And now we are talking on 33 Gbps of the maximum speed. So how this evolution has happened, and then what Qualcomm has to offer right now with the Qualcomm service defined Wi-Fi. So there is a critical analytics is going on in the enterprise businesses. If you talk about the home, the subscribers usually just network devices or services based on the seamless connectivity or Wi-Fi networks experiences. And as there's increased demand of XR, right, virtual reality, gamings, conferencing devices, there's a seamless connectivity is right, challenge for us or for the industry to come out the solution like this Qualcomm service defined Wi-Fi. So in service defined Wi-Fi, we are improving the quality of experience. So where we are providing intelligent traffic classifier. That is one of the example. Like if you see this, all the data which is coming from the broadband is the unclassified broadband traffic. So in the software defined Wi-Fi, we provide 40 tops of hexagon AI ML processor, and which is sending inferences. And this is the cloud to device networking work frame, in which it is sending the inferences to environment and capturing all the data, which was like thousands, millions of the data at a time, and capturing all the inferences into the AI ML library. And based on that, it is improving the service aware prioritization, service aware scheduling, and giving a well defined connected smart home or enterprise solutions and services. So this is one of the example. There is a multiple networking example is as well there. Like if interference is happening, if interference is happening, let's say in 2.4 gigahertz, it will automatically inference like which channel is the interference prone, and without disturbing the connectivity, it switches to the best channel into the network. So this is and this is already happening, but it was all manual processes. But in this software defined Wi-Fi, the user will not be able to know that how he has like changed from the interference prone channels to the best channels, and can get their streams and the calls like office meetings and everything will be going on very smoothly. So this AIML library can learn themselves. It takes like 6 seconds to 20 seconds to learn first time, and then automatically divert all the traffic to the required uh, all the traffic to the required segment of like what is your prioritization. So if Teams call or VC call is your prioritization, it will automatically sense and prioritize the call. If gaming is the prioritization, it will sense and prioritize your gaming experience. If video streaming is prioritization, it will sense and prioritize this automatically in the backend. And this is a very easy to use, as we already used to do in the small changes in the wireless config file in the JSON file, and similar to the all the wireless config which traditionally has been done, the telecom operators or service provider can do changes very easily into the software defined Wi-Fi. So this is what I was talking. This is the smart traffic classifier. This is cloud to device services to enhance your AR, VR, gaming experience, enterprise level, and home experience. So it takes all the unclassified data and inference it, keeps into the record, learn the module, train the module, and then learn based on that and prioritize your traffic requirement. So one of the innovative solutions I just wanted to put here. So this is what our offering is, like Qualcomm Networking Pro right now, known as the NPA Qualcomm Dragonwing NPA 7. It can connect it to the 40 tops of NPU, which is the AI compressor, and which is Qualcomm Hexagon NPU, and which utilize the Qualcomm networking AI suite. All the Qualcomm AI stacks are available on the developer tools. Developer can use that and make their own models based on the requirement. So this is one of the also use case, like how the quality of experience can be increased. So in XR, in business critical analytics, and banking transactions, right there where the seamless connectivity can be needed. The signal optimization, as I've given you the example of the interference detection automatically by sending the inferences. It detects the signal and optimize the signal by themselves. Some networking AI ops is also there. Like for an example, this STC smart traffic classifier. So when your STC is off, you will see like we have a demo as well, but we can show in coming workshops. So there, your quality of experience will be improved by using this AI software defined Wi-Fi and AI features. There's a few things like facial recognition and gesture recognition, neural language processing, pose estimation, emotion detection, and object tracking. So, for an example, like if you have a very uh, like how we can say like very standard camera, and where you can only visualize like what is going to stream there, but with the help of this software defined Wi-Fi and AI features of Qualcomm Hexagon NPU, you can make your camera into the AI camera, intelligent camera, which can be used for the facial recognition. So that is one of the example. We have already demo available with the Qualcomm Hexagon processors. Yeah, so that is all I have from the Wi-Fi side. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya. Now I'd like to call upon Mr. Khushdil Daya. He'll be giving a presentation on the IoT roadmap, video collab, and NTN. Mr. Daya, over to you. I think Mr. Daya is not here. I think Mr. Kiranodaya Tiwari, are you here? Moderator. Mr. Nitinanta. Mr. Tiwari, you've been made the presenter. Please unmute yourself. Are you able to change the presentation? No, you're not audible, Mr. Tiwari.
I think am I audible? Can you please confirm?
Yeah, yes, you're here, audible. You may start your presentation now.
Please confirm if I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible. Are you able to hear us? Chat में लिखो is audible. Yes. Are you able to control your presentation?
Kiranodaya ji, are we audible to you?
You can log out or log in, rejoin the meeting.
Yeah, hi, I hope now I'm audible, right?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know, some couple of settings actually there. I'm really sorry on this. And thank you everyone. Thank you Upadhyay ji for having us here. It's really good to share what Qualcomm is having for the startup ecosystem. So can we go to the slides?
The slides have already been shared. You can click on the right bottom icon for it will show you the screen. You have
Yeah.
been made the
Okay.
presenter,
Yeah.
so you can scroll the slides.
Yeah, I
Yes,
got it. I got
please.
it. Yeah. So what I'll be covering, I think my colleague Sahil will be covering more on the edge AI and on-prem AI. I'll be covering the drones, the handheld devices, and the connected IoT. This is mostly the IoT part of the Qualcomm BU. So let me just quickly jump to the slides. This is what Sahil will be covering. I'll quickly take you to. Okay. So drones and robotics is one of the key focus segments that Qualcomm is working on, and that is in full alignment is in what actually the Indian government is driving. That includes the PLI scheme that is linked for domestic manufacturing of drones, your drone Shakti scheme. That actually supports startups, your Kisan drones to encourage like use of drones into the crop monitoring, pesticide spraying, and then your drone Didi scheme, where almost 15,000 women are actually provided with the drones for agriculture industry. So basically, if you see, the government is focusing a lot, and Qualcomm is actually trying to reciprocate the same way. When we look at the Qualcomm portfolio for drones, the main key areas where we are focusing is actually the consumer, retail, logistics, public safety, agriculture, and inspection. So if you see inspection, that is mostly the robots for land mapping and inspection of key places. Agriculture, like I told you, that for pesticide spraying, for monitoring, crop monitoring. Public safety, this is one thing where now we have seen the use of drone has been going up, which means like spraying of water, load sharing, and maintenance of building maintenance. And then again, logistics is one segment where it is taking the growth. Recently, you might have heard the news that a delivery company in India have done the first drone delivery in Gurgaon. And then again, in retail, basically this is into the bigger warehouse management. That's where the drones are being used. And then consumer, small pocket drones which are being used to actually shoot the videos, occasions, and everything, which is very much into the reach. But as the government norms are there, so there has to be some compliances that to be met, and Qualcomm is trying to make those compliances easy for startups and for customers to implement. Okay, so okay, so when you look at a modern drone today, so basically what all the key segments that we support. That becomes the essential part. That becomes your flight controller, your drone controller, your connectivity, which is very much important, your camera for a kind of video related applications, your performance. It depends whether is it a high payload drone which is supposed to carry, is it a wired drone or a wireless drone, your power, your battery. Then again, your secure link of communication from the ground control station GCS to the drone. And again, it's about the neural processing of the drone to actually perceive the objects and make the decision by themselves. And then anatomy, how actually you want to fly the drones. Is it beyond visual range or fly in with GPS? So basically these are the key aspects that need to be considered, and Qualcomm solutions are actually catered around these requirements so that different kind of robots can be realized. It can be a small pocket robot to the high payload robots also. Okay, now when we say what all the key value propositions that Qualcomm brings in, okay, so we have a dedicated product roadmap. We have QRB series, we have 8550 series, and then recently we have Kodiak and Kodiak Lite. These are some series of chipsets or the platforms that we have enabled for customers to actually realize all these use cases that we have actually talked in the previous slides. Okay, now what is the best thing? First thing is the performance is at the higher side without actually compromising on the power. Why? Because these are all, most of the solutions are battery driven, which means higher performance at a very less power consumption. Okay, then because Qualcomm processors have a heterogeneous architecture where we not only have the CPU, but we have a CPU, GPU, and an NPU. It's NPU which actually helps you to have those AI and real-time decision makings. And then we have dedicated hardware accelerators and vision processors which actually help you to process the vision related videos and pictures. And again, there are safety norms, ISO norms that we fulfill so that we make sure that the communication link is secure between the GCS and the drone. And then again, because our platforms are versatile, we'll try to support multiple OS like Linux, Ubuntu, Android, and to help a customer to upscale, we have upstream Linux also, which is coming in, which means that the OS or the SDK base is same for the different platform, which means if a customer is trying to move from one platform to other, they need not to again work on a new OS platform. The same platform way which they have worked and matured previously can be utilized for the new platform also. Okay, and then again, we support a lot of cameras, lidars, which is the new thing actually in the market today, radars, flight controller stack. So flight controller stack is one of the very key and very important stack, because flight controller is something which is a very key essential part of any drone. So this is also one thing we have worked. Again, previously, like in the previous slide, Aditya might have told you that we are one of the leaders in Wi-Fi and 5G. So the same expertise we utilize here. Only the thing is here, the Wi-Fi supported is actually in a very long range format. We support the long range. And again, smart controllers and design actually. So this is what we try to support, that they're the components for this is to be squeezed into a very smaller size so that a lot of space should not be going in. So these are some key considerations we have done actually to make sure that a different scale of drones and robotics actually can be realized considering different segments. Okay, now the other thing which Qualcomm is driving, which is linked also, is the video surveillance, which is the camera solutions. Now, if you might have seen everyone that typically people come across two kind of cameras. One is a very standard Wi-Fi camera where people go out in the market, buy a Wi-Fi camera, download an app and put it the camera in the home and pair and they start using it. Okay, that's one way of doing it. But when you go to the different places, small medium business, SMBs or enterprise, you'll try to see there's a bit complex system where there are wired cameras put on place, where you have a standard legacy cameras which are actually connected to NVR, and that's where they have a display connected and there is a security room where all this thing is monitored. That is a standard way of looking into it. Now what Qualcomm is doing, Qualcomm is actually trying to take it to the next level. How? So there are two approaches. If you look at the image, so there are two approaches. The first way is how to handle the legacy solution. So we have a edge AI box solution. It's a smart hardware which actually sits with the legacy cameras, and it has like I told you, it has GPU, CPU, NPU architecture inbuilt. So basically, all the AI related instances or the models are actually ran on this platform. So whatever the video feed which is coming from the camera, this hardware helps you to run the AI models on those feeds, and actually you can have a real time based alerts. So basically, this is one way of adding intelligence to the legacy camera solutions. Okay, so you can, so suppose like it's a mall, okay, and you want to see in a key specific areas that there should not be any weapon detection or there should be any fire detection. So these edge AI models which are actually running on the box actually helps you to have those real time video links to be evaluated, and if there's any fire and any weapon is being detected in the real time, it raises an alarm so that the authority should take the necessary action. That is one way of doing it. Now the other way which Qualcomm is driving is, why don't we add intelligence in the cameras at the camera level, which is known as the AI cameras. So what we are doing is we are enabling platforms. We have platforms actually where we are enabling AI models which are running at the camera. So basically, whenever there's an AI camera being installed, so the camera itself is capable of actually running the AI model on the video feed, whichever the AI models you're running. It's a bunch of AI models, and then raise the alarm on the like motion detection. You can see it's an object detection, or maybe you are looking for some person detection, vehicle number plate detection, weapon detection, fire, PPE kit. So all these things can actually be done on the camera level. Okay, so this is there. Now the other dynamics which is a part of this is the cloud and the edge server. So most of the time what happens is, whenever you have a traditional is it a ground field or a brown field, a green field or a brown field deployment. So basically you have, either you will have a cloud involved or you have an edge server. So basically what's the difference is, so suppose if you have establishment where you want everything, the data, whole data to be there, especially in government organization, you don't want the data to go on cloud or to private cloud. You try to have the server on-prem server. You try to have the server on the premises. So that's where we have this on-prem solution. And sometimes for enterprise segment, you have the data to be shared to the cloud. So it's like that, multiple establishment which are connected by the same cloud. So that is also being supported. Qualcomm supports both. It's edge server also and cloud also. And again, this will be supported by a VMS. So Qualcomm have our own VMS known as Vantage, where you can actually have a portal or a dashboard, and you can run a lot of queries actually to see a solution. And then finally, you will have a dashboard or a desktop or a mobile dashboard to actually see the real time feedback from the AI engine, or you can run your queries on the Vantage portal. Uh, so most of the time, in the next slide, we'll talk about the Vantage portal. So you can do actually a vision-based model where you can run queries. Okay, if like find a person with a red bag or a red T-shirt, so you are actually trying to run, and finally you can actually raise the same query through voice also. Okay, let me just take you to the next slide to have more. Okay. So if you see at your display, so this is something which Vantage vSaaS portal. So VSaaS is known as video service, video solution as a service. Okay. So here what you see. Okay, so here I think once Sahil will be there, he'll explain you more. But Vantage is one portal where we are actually trying to have that user interaction. So user can actually have uh, it was actually the you can actually run the analytics whether you want to type it. So you can actually type, suppose like I told you, you can type it and say that okay, find me a person in green t-shirt, or you can say okay, tell me where all the person have went. So all these things I think Sahil may cover it later in this. So I'll just leave it to Sahil because he will be along with the AI, he can actually explain it better. I'll just jump to the other slide. So I think this Sahil will be taking care of under the AI. Okay, I'll take you to the handle devices and the IoT. Okay, like I told you, most of our Qualcomm processors have the heterogeneous architecture. We have CPU, GPU, and NPU. And how it's going to help you, just a moment. Yeah, so I think this is again Sahil will be covering. I'll just move ahead. Okay. Okay, so in IoT, basically, like I told you, there are different verticals we are having. So we have consumer, we have retail, we have logistics, we have hospitality, we have manufacturing, have energy. So when it comes to energy, we are mostly talking about your energy meters. Then your manufacturing, we have a lot of surveillance, AI boxes, autonomous mobility. Hospitality, we have smart locks, smart security cameras, access control. Logistics, again, we have automated robots, we have sensors, we have smart meters, asset trackers, low cost asset trackers, gateways. Retail in Qualcomm, we support point of sale, industrial handheld, and your automatic self checkout machine. If you have seen that there are many places now, there's an automated self checkout machines are being coming up where you can actually pick up your stuff, scan your stuff, make the payment, and you're done. Okay, and again, for consumer, we have smart appliances, we have healthcare devices, and robot, again home robot like your floor cleaning robot, your smart displays. So these are all the industry verticals which are actually covered by Qualcomm portfolio. Okay, I think this is a very good slide. I think this might be the last slide if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so if you see, this one slide gives you a complete overview of Qualcomm's connectivity portfolio. Okay, now if you see, it starts with the very basic Bluetooth. We have a very basic chipset, which is a Bluetooth BLE 5.3 chipset. And then PLC is mostly, if you see, it goes into the EV charging solutions. It is into the AC or DC electric vehicle charging solutions that we are having. Then again, GPS. I think Wi-Fi, which is being shared to you by Aditya. We have Wi-Fi 5, Wi-Fi 6, and the latest Wi-Fi 7. 4G, 5G. We are one of the leaders into 4G and 5G. 4G widely accepted. 5G is growing, and now in the latest edition, now we have the satellite communication also, which is a part of Qualcomm portfolio. So this is a very good slide which shows you that how we are actually covering the whole spectrum of connectivity. Yeah, so I think this is from my side. I think rest Sahil will cover from the AI side. Maybe some slides will be repeated, but he'll add more detail from his experience. Yeah, I think Sahil, now over to you. Yeah.
Hi everyone. I hope I'm audible. So I'll just start
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
Sai, you are audible.
yeah. So I'll start with the AI. I'm sure you have gone through other slides. So I'll try to just deep dive into what Qualcomm brings onto table, and then what are our platforms, how we are bringing a developer ecosystem together to build not just on the edge but also on the cloud. And as our platforms support a different architecture in terms of NPU, GPU, CPU, their AI workload can work on the NPUs, which basically can do a very low power compute. And that's why all the handheld today are able to run AI, generative AI at the edge, right? So we'll basically talk about what this brings onto the table. So I think AI is not just changing the future; it is also changing the present. So if you talk about the different segments where Qualcomm play, so Qualcomm has one technology roadmap in terms of AI, and there's a lot of cross pollination happens between different verticals, starting from handsets. So if you see today, we already ran 7B parameter model on handsets, and automotive side now the cabin experience is changing with AI, agentic AI coming into play. So today a lot of AI stuff can happen with VLMs also sitting on the car. So you can talk to your cameras in the vehicle and ask any questions in terms of what the car is seeing, right? In terms of PC, Qualcomm basically partnered with Microsoft, and the Copilot Plus PCs run multiple models parallelly, and the experience is more personal, experience is more intuitive in terms of what you can do with your PCs today. And as I already mentioned, this all SoCs come with heterogeneous architecture where you have dedicated NPU to run AI workload. XR AR is a new generation devices. If you see what Meta has done with AR glasses, you can basically see and talk to your glasses. You can take pictures. You can go live with your glasses. So all the augmented reality use cases in terms of training, in terms of teaching, can happen through XR glasses. It's both consumer and B2B space that XR platforms come handy. Industrial point of view, today even your POS machines, your retail terminals are getting AI enabled, be it the overall ledger of the payments which is done, or getting the sense of what consumer or what is the consumer behavior, that all can happen on the edge. So basically the data processing is happening where the the source of data is, right? And I think networking team must have already covered, there's a lot of AI algorithms which can run on the edge, and you get better experiences in terms of what AI can bring onto the table with the features and algorithms which can now run at the edge. Now moving on to on-device AI, as I already mentioned, the compute is getting intensive or at the edge itself, so you can do heavy workloads at the edge, and it also brings performance and efficiency in terms of how you can run bigger models at the edge without sacrificing your DOU, that is day of usage. So still you can have with X Elite laptops, you can still have like full day battery life, and then you can run in background all the AI algorithms, right? So that's where performance and efficiency comes into play. Privacy, your data basically remains on device. You can do most of the processing on device. If it is in some of the cases where you want a bigger model to run, you can do a hybrid fashion as well. But your sensitive data, you can plan in such a way that it doesn't go out of your device, right? Immediacy, as it can be even without the network, you can still have the experiences which are immediately available in healthcare, in some of the air gap environments. You can get AI experiences without network, connectivity as well. In terms of reliability, as I mentioned, even if you're going in a patchy network, you can still, do a lot of compute on the edge as well itself. From the personalization point of view, because our devices understands what we are doing, and you don't want your personal data to go out, you can have personalized experiences at the edge, right? And user interface is changing with on-device AI. Mostly now, voice is the new UI, we call it, and cost, right? Because this is a one-time cost of the hardware. There's no per query cost which is involved. The overall, democratization of the AI can happen with on-device AI. Now, I will talk about the trend. Basically, in terms of the trend, and these are like last year, stats. From the model point of view, what a GPT 3.5 Turbo 175 billion parameter was doing in terms of, model quality index, Llama 3.1 with 8B could do. And this trend is continuing, right? So basically, you don't need now a server to run, Llama 3.18b. It can run on your handheld devices, and you can get a cloud kind of model quality, right? So it will not hallucinate. It will not, give you responses which are not in line with what it is expected, right? I think this is on a similar lines where you are getting the different models which can run on device, be it vision, be it language, be it LVMs, right? So all those are now possible to run on device. And this is some of the trends which we have got from the open source, where how the models are progressing in terms of their life cycle, right? In the overall same set of parameters, you could do more today, right? So in this case, the comparison is with 175b GPT 3.5 model, where in 2023 the 7B was way far in terms of the performance. Now the overall trend is that you can run all these models on device and still get a same quality as cloud level models. And having said that, I'm not saying that cloud is not important, because at the end of the day, even cloud models are getting more and more advanced in terms of what they can do. Hence, a hybrid approach is required. That's where Qualcomm's role come into play. So we can do hybrid where you through speculative decoding and through different sort of techniques, you can run smaller models on edge and a bigger model on cloud. And I'll talk about this in later slides as well. And then I think cloud inferencing, one of the key reasons to democratize this is the cost, because the cost of per million tokens is very high if you have to get to the cloud for every query, right? And then you need to see how we bring down the cost. Today, most of these hardware, right, which is doing training, is also used for inferencing. Hence, the cost of the overall inference is high. That's where a specific dedicated inference accelerator cards are important, because of the power, because of the sustainability, and this will also help in bringing down the cost. Now, in the hybrid case, as I was mentioning, today you can run a small 7B model on device and a bigger model on the cloud. Most of the token generation happens at the edge itself, but the validation of the token can still happen in the cloud. So think of it like this: if I am, and these are all autoregressive LLMs. When you are trying to ask a question, it will try to predict next few tokens. Like if the sentence is "I like playing cricket," in that case, "I like playing" can be the right output, but say cricket is not, right? I might place pickleball. In that case, it goes to the cloud and it verifies all the tokens, discards the token which is not matched, and then the transaction happens. So in one go, you're trying to create more tokens and validate that, rather than just going to the cloud for every token and then trying to infer that. that's where the cost of the overall compute comes down, and you get better responses and you can say less cost and less time. And basically, at the edge level from the hardware, as I mentioned, Qualcomm has and throughout, different domains, we have different architectures in terms of CPU, GPU, NPU. CPU, Qualcomm has our own custom CPUs, Orion CPUs, which are now used in mobile compute and even on the automotive side. And from the overall software point of view, we basically can run all the formats, be it PyTorch, Onyx, TensorFlow, right? So you can train it anywhere. The models can be trained on any infra, but there are ways and techniques where you can just run these on the edge, right? From the orchestrator point of view, we can run AI agents, RAG, and all those applications can be easily run. And we have different tools. I'll talk about it. We have Qualcomm AI Hub, we have Edge Impulse, we have also Foundries.io to make sure that the developer journey is very smooth in terms of the development and it is also very quick, right? And we support all the OS starting from Android, Ubuntu, QNX, right? And I think the other good part, what Qualcomm has been doing is to bring server level compute on prem. We have something called AI, on prem edge appliance, which can do in a sprinter like box a 70B model. And you can basically, hand carry it or even do a airborne application using these. And a single 150-watt card can run either multiple models or single model up to 70p, right? It has that much of compute and memory available on a single PCI card, right? And this can work in a hybrid fashion where you have a dedicated central hub, and then different spokes can have, a different smaller computes, right? And these all applications, right, which we are building are applicable for government, training and education, enterprise, healthcare. From the model point of view, we also support all the latest, LLMs, Llama, CodeGen, GPT. Even, we ran uh, the latest model 20B model, right, which just came, GPT open source model that also runs now on device, as in the 20B model can run on PC on a consumer grade 16 GB platform. And from the computer vision point of view, we also run all the YOLOs of the world. And these all are available, if you talk about the edge devices, are available on our AI hub. And I'll talk more about this in later slides. So this is the edge appliance which I was talking about, a printer-like device. This has two cards, so basically each card can support 70B model, but this can also slice the bigger model, and then different applications can still run on this small box. Doesn't require liquid cooling, doesn't require a server level racks, right? So that is the beauty of having where your TCO per dollar in terms of the performance and power is taken care with the NPU grade AI accelerated card. So these are NPUs which are, you can say, multiple NPUs which are sitting on a card and running these AI models. And from the application point of view, we have different kind of SDKs available to build different application in terms of RAG, in terms of LLMs, in terms of even computer vision models for surveillance, for any sort of image processing, right? So all those are possible with this small box. So next, what we are doing, basically, we are working with one of the lead, OEM to bring the same AI 100, NPU onto the AI laptop, right? So today, our laptops support 45 tops of, processing at the edge, But with this will go further up, and you would be able to run 100B, Gen AI models on a PC. Today, what we have done 7 to 10 billion parameter model on PC. So we already, in some of the other regions, we did, regional LLMs running on PCs, right? So Alarm PC is one of the examples where the Alarm local language model was pre-integrated, pre-built into the OS, and then you can do summarization, you can do uh, spell check, all those things in the PC itself without data being sent to the cloud. So I was talking about different platforms, what is available in terms of the developer ecosystem. So I'll just break it down into three. The slide is a little busy slide, but I don't know if I can take pointer. Okay, so if you see, right, there are three different building blocks of this whole developer journey. One is Qualcomm AI Hub, the second is Edge Impulse, and third one is Foundries.io. Qualcomm AI Hub is nothing but a repository of pre-optimized models for Qualcomm platforms. So you can select any platform, be it mobile, be it IoT, be it compute, and you can select what model you want to run and do a comparative study in terms of how your model is performing, right? So if you're still working on a MVP kind of a solution where you need a pre-optimized model, either you can use the model which is already pre-optimized and is present as a part of the overall offering of AI Hub, or you can bring your own model. So basically, that model can be optimized to run on dedicated hardware blocks which are there for AI processing, right? So post that, Edge Impulse is basically for the developer where you can either label your data, train your model, make sure your model runs on the Qualcomm hardware, and this also have device farm, which are basically the real hardwares which are sitting on cloud, and you can just select and run live uh, models onto that device without having physical device in hand. So these are all open source tools which are available, and anybody can log into that and try their hands on with these tools. The other one is Foundries.io. So Foundries.io basically helps in CI/CD, device management, right? And then, as I mentioned, this can be deployed or can be validated on different kind of devices. So we have Qualcomm devices available on these portals, and you can just search all these portals through Qualcomm AI Hub, key names, Edge Impulse, Qualcomm, and Foundries.io. For enterprise, there is different model, but for developer community, these are like open and available for everybody. So from the overall, pipeline point of view, if you have any data you want to, create a model, you can either use a real data with your mobile, or if you have, you can upload that data, create a synthetic data using Edge Impulse, and then, tune that model, run it via AI Hub, and then, deploy it using Foundries.io. So this is the developer journey looks like. But these tools are also available as a standalone tools where you can just try to run existing models if you don't want to intend to do a specific model on your own. You can use whatever is existing models on there, be it chat, be it computer vision, right, be it segmentation. All those models are available. Some of the examples, how the edge AI can be helpful. Object recognition is one in remote surveillance, in environment where there is no connectivity, specifically for defense and uh, applications where you don't have connectivity, you don't have any sort of cloud available. You can do a lot of use cases using edge compute which is available, be it drones, be it handheld devices, right? Be it a controller. I'll just skip these slides because these are just examples, and move further. From the drones point of view, one of the key things which we are doing is basically bringing AI onto the drones and robotics, and the key USP which Qualcomm brings is performance per watt, in terms of, because these are airborne devices with limited power, running these different algorithms efficiently is the key, because the flight time is important, the charging takes time. Even in case of some of the one-way drones, right, you cannot have docking for charging, so that's where power becomes very important. So Qualcomm has been into this space for a while, and we are enhancing our stack with different sort of offerings. If you see in terms of autonomy, we have software which can do planning, path planning in the areas where there's no connectivity, or those are like GPS denied, right? Even beyond line of sight, you can fly your drones. Perception to avoid obstacles, multi-object detection, tracking. From the overall safety and security point of view, you have a different secure environment where you can run application, so that this cannot be compromised. In terms of flight control, we have our stacks which can get inputs from different sensors like IMU, accelerator, right, position, even altitude and temperature, which helps in the overall maneuvering of these drones. And then, as I already covered the performance part, but what is important here is the camera. So in terms of the overall offering, we can do a lot of processing without sacrificing the power. And in terms of connectivity options, these have P2P or long range Wi-Fi, 5G, U2X kind of a connectivity, which is available as a module or integrated with these platforms. And drone controllers are also available in terms of the offerings from Qualcomm. I think most of these things I already covered, but there is a dedicated CV processor for computer vision, and different type of OS are supported in terms of the platform, and we do support different safety algorithms and safety standards. And in terms of sensors, we support different sensors in our development kits, and our partners have already created some of these end offerings for different use cases, be it consumer, be it defense, or be it B2B kind of solutions. I think Katie already touched based on these slides, but what we are bringing onto table here is a complete end-to-end video intelligence suite. Basically, this is applicable to both brownfield and greenfield deployments. When I talk about brownfield, these are IP cameras which are, or legacy cameras which are already positioned into the system, and you want to basically create some sort of intelligence for these devices or these cameras. So what you can do, you can basically enable these brownfield cameras with AI analytics through Edge AI box. So this is nothing but a small box which has AI compute, runs on a very low power, where you can encode, decode your camera streams, and then run the AI analytics on the edge itself without going to the cloud. So there are different sort of features which are available in terms of motion detection, object detection, person, vehicle, ANPR, right, weapon, even VLM embeddings, right? So in terms of the solution, we also have something called Vantage, which is basically running a GenAI chatbot where you can talk to your metadata. So think of the video stream which is coming is processed at the edge itself, where you're not taking the complete stream for the processing to the cloud, but the metadata, right? Metadata could be your vehicle number, could be your employee ID, which is stored in the cloud. So what it does, it basically, one, it basically brings down the overall uh, cost of the solution in terms of the TCO. What also it does is bring down your storage, and some of the things like if there is a action which is required, then you can also take an action right away. You don't have to go to the cloud and then process it and then send back to the the overall actuator to do some action, right? So this can be done at the edge itself, right? So I'll just you know talk about this. I think I talked about ANPR. This is person attribute, so you can basically map a person with not just face but with attributes as well, right? So once you see a person, if he's carrying a maybe a weapon, then you can just tag that person. You don't need to follow it through his face, but through say just its attribute, right? Basically, what also is available is a end-to-end VMS, video management system, right? Device management, all those things are possible through the end-to-end offering which is there in this, right? And as a part of the development, what it can help is through AI Hub. You have some of the computer vision model. If you want to use that and create your own application, that is also possible. So this was one of the TCO point which I was mentioning. So traditional VMS, you have a hardware which is dumb hardware, and then you take all the feed to the cloud and then do processing and then give that to that event to either back to a control room, or somebody manually sits and just looks at that, right? Cloud AI based is basically you have some AI which is there, and then you are either discarding the storage or you are just making some sense out of that metadata and processing that on the cloud. But with edge AI based VMS, what you could do, you could, the hardware cost, right, even is same as mostly cloud AI based hardware, because there will be an edge appliance which will be required at the edge. But your VMS cost and storage cost will come down because you're not taking all the data to the cloud. You're just sending the metadata. Metadata could be a vehicle number, as I mentioned. It could be a person attributes, or it could also be mapping of a person with the employee ID, right? So attendance system kind of a use case can also be achieved through this, where you're not storing the complete video for historical events, but you're just storing the useful data which is going to the cloud. These are some examples. So in case of the overall weapon detection, as I was mentioning, if you find a person who entered with a weapon, that will be tracked through his attribute, not just by a face or the weapon, right? So think of it like this: a person enters and then initially he was seen with weapon, then he hides the weapon. In that case, you just track that person, alert using your own backend server that okay, this is the person which was detected with some sort of weapon. So one of the key things is on the handle device. Think of it as, when I talk about handle, this can be your mobile phone, this could be your rugged handheld, or this could even be your tablet or a laptop, right? So as already I mentioned about Qualcomm own custom Orion CPU, this is where you run most of the generic applications. But what is important in this case is Hexagon NPU. This is where all the workloads, AI workloads, computation happens. Your vector multiplication and everything happens here in terms of the AI application. And then the beauty is that it is very power efficient, right? So you can still process a lot of things on the edge without sacrificing your power. So your DOU basically still remains good in terms of the overall battery life. This was one example. Actually, this is a video which basically does on-device translation from Chinese to English or Chinese to any other language is also possible. So this basically demo uses the overall Whisper model. So this is an open source model which has been trained on 90 plus languages and can do transcription translation as well. So we have these demo applications which are available for development, and this is important in terms of air gap environment as well. If you see here, there's no network connectivity. This device was in an air gap environment where it could do nearly real time translation. There's no lag because it's not going to the cloud, and then you can translate there itself. I think that's it from my side. Katie already covered the connected IoT.
So thank you so much for your presentation, Sahil. So we've covered an incredible amount of ground today. We've explored everything from connectivity and IoT to the future of AI and 6G. I thank all the speakers for their presentations. So now we will be having a short Q&A session. We'll be taking up questions from the participants. Um, we can start with the questions which were there in the chat box, public chat. So over to the Qualcomm team. You can please start with the queries which were raised earlier. Mr. Umesh Singh had a query. So you can please take that up. And Mr. Mangal Singh's query. And I request all the other participants, whoever have any queries, you can please raise your hands here. We will allow you one by one. So
Ma'am,
over
this
to
is
the
Arindam Das.
Qualcomm team.
Hello. Ma'am, this is Arindam Das. I'm director in Qualcomm. I think it's been a very
Yes.
engaging session so far, and thank you so much for everybody to participate. Ma'am, I see that there are three queries, and most of these queries pertain to licensing and cost. I think Honorable Dr. Raj Kumar Upadhyay sir has also requested some clarity on this respect. So
Yes,
on this
yes.
respect, ma'am, when it comes to cost and licensing, there is a separate team which is not here in the call right now. So we have taken a note of these, ma'am. Give us some time. We will get back to you with specific responses to these questions, ma'am.
Sure.
Any
Sure.
other
Okay. So
questions
there's one.
which is technical in nature that I think the team here can resolve. The licensing part and the cost part, ma'am, we'll get back to you.
Okay, fine. So there's a query in the chat box from Forge. Could you please share your coordinates? Okay, okay. No such query. So yeah. So any other queries from the participants? You may please raise your hands. There's a raise hand option, or you can type your query in the public chat. The Qualcomm team will take up those questions, if any.
I think I can take the last one related to enabling computer vision related software POC, which is celebrated today. Yeah. So I think, as I mentioned, there is a lot of open source things available, which is there. You can go to Qualcomm AI Hub. We have RP3 Gen 2 kit, which is available online, and the software and SDK is available as well. This is open source SDKs. So I can write the kit name. This is RP3 Gen 2 6490 based kit.
There's a query, another query from Desert Forge. You can take that up. Does Qualcomm plan to improve the hurdle of a poor ecosystem?
Ma'am, we would like to understand what are the kind of challenges they are facing in India, and 100% we would like to make all possible effort to improve. So I think we are not able to get the name or coordinate of this person. We can, if you can, please share his coordinate with us, or if you ask him or that person to get in touch with us, we would like to get into a further discussion and understand exactly where he's facing these challenges. And 100% our team would be there to understand and fill the gaps. So we request your
Sure.
help on this
Mr.
issue.
Desin, the username Desin Forge, I have unlocked you. If you're able to unmute yourself, you can ask your query right here. You can just elaborate upon the query, or we can you can send us an email regarding your query, a little detail, and then we can forward it to Qualcomm for their detailed response. Is that all right?
Ma'am, what I would suggest is that after this call, if you could connect or email to all the participants and seek their comments and questions, and send those questions to us, we will have some better opportunity to discuss these internally and get back to these participants, keeping you in loop. I think that would be a better option. But in any case, we are here to hear the questions right now, but I'm not sure we'll be able to give you instant responses or answers to these, but we will definitely get back to you with the answers.
Sure. Sorry. Yeah, okay, then I think we will consolidate the queries and then we will share it with you for your response from the same.
Perfect.
You can just have a
Perfect.
look at the chat board. There are few queries which they are posting. If you are able to address any of them right now, because they're constantly, I think 3 to 4 more queries have been typed in the chat board, public chat.
Just
I'll
hold on,
give you a
ma'am.
minute to just go to them.
Ma'am, I think there's another question related to licensing from Mr. Satyabrata. Uh, so let us get back to the licensing team, ma'am. I think it would be much better that we have a separate discussion on licensing. This team here is a product development and business development team. Probably not the right person to answer these queries, but we'll definitely address these queries and get back to you. I think this question, Mr. Sridhar, what kind of kits are available? I think this can be responded to. Sahil, would you be like to respond to this query? What kind of kits are available from Qualcomm?
Yeah, so Arindam, I will take the answer for Sridhar. So we have a reference design kits available. You can order like online also, as Sahil mentioned, right? RB Gen 3 is online available. And also we can please drop an email to us. We can connect you with our partner as well, who is working on white box product as well based on the Qualcomm reference design. So this is like a ready solution available based on your use cases. For an example, if I can say that Wi-Fi 7 I was going through, right? So we have a partner in India who has already developed this, and the pre-order is already starts, and the designs are like going to be shipped by September first week. So these are the just an example. We have all the kits available inside the Qualcomm, the reference kit, and also we can introduce you the partner where you can online, put your query for pre-order or ordering link, you can follow and buy it from there.
So, hi,
Yeah.
Katie, this side.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I will
Yeah,
like to take
please.
the question by Mr. Giridhar. What's the process to procure your Wi-Fi ICs online stores like Mouser or through some other channel? So, okay, so in India, Qualcomm have four distributors. One is WT, another is Arrow Electronics, the third one is SM Electronics, and fourth is RP Tech. So any of you can actually approach these of the distributors directly and request for the parts, or you can write to us directly also that okay, we are working on this project for Wi-Fi and we need this sort of chipsets. Mostly Qualcomm chipsets comes in a bundle package. We will help you not only with the correct part number, but we will also help you to connect with the distributors also. Okay, I hope that is fine. There is one question saying, is there, but from Sridhar, that I have a question on video surveillance solutions. Yeah, you can ask, no issues. Yeah, I think for kids, Sridhar, it is already asked. It is already taken care by Aditya that you can actually order online also. We have partners who can actually help you, Thundercom. Then there are partners here in India. Yeah.
So for Mangal Singh, there is a question right from India. We would like one who can support CUDU integrate. So you can connect with me. I will connect you the team, and also I am taking care this CUDU for X100 card as well and FSM base. So we can discuss this on this, and I'll align my team who will handle you, or like who handles this CUDU integration part. Please write to us, and we'll see the opportunity and the cases and everything we can discuss, and then I'll align my technical team.
And yeah, Mr. Sridhar, yeah, like we can support on the subsidized price for SMEs. It's no problem. Yes. Anyhow, for startups, we always try to give the price where it's much lower as compared to what others. Yeah. So we are there to support you. Please feel free to ask questions, whatever is there in your mind on the presentation which is being done from Qualcomm team, and the respective person will take up the question. Yeah.
Yeah, so if the Qualcomm team can just write in the chat box itself some contact email, so the applicants can then directly send you a mail keeping us in the loop.
I think, Arindam, will you be consolidating this and sharing to the respective people based on the query?
Yes, I'm providing my email. I think it would be better that everybody sends email to one person, and we can then coordinate internally and ensure
Yeah,
that those
definitely.
emails are responded.
Any one email from your end, and keep. So I request all the participants. They'll be just writing down. Qualcomm team will be writing down the email ID. You can address your queries to them. Keeping C dot team in the loop. Yeah. So thank
So
you
I
everyone.
provided
Thank
my.
you for yes.
Ma'am, please continue. I just mentioned that I have given my email ID on the chat box. Everyone is requested to kindly send in their emails. Give us some time to collate those and respond to those. But please be rest assured that the Qualcomm team is there to help you and guide you. And we look forward to a cooperation and coordination going forward. I think everybody has got a glimpse of what Qualcomm is doing in India, what is our vision for our startups. We are already engaged with more than 120 startups who have filed more than 600 patents here in India, and we want to replicate and keep this success going forward. A special thanks to the entire CDOT team for taking out this time and creating this opportunity and a platform for Qualcomm to engage with our Indian innovators and startup ecosystem. Thank you so much, ma'am. Anything else that we can do, please let us know.
Yeah, so now to bring this workshop to a close and to summarize our key takeaways, it is my pleasure to welcome our final dignitaries. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Brajesh Mishra, Scientist G and Head of the CDOT Collaborative Division. Sir, over to you. You will please give your vote of thanks and key
Yeah,
takeaways.
Am I audible? Clear?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. So good afternoon, all participants and dignitaries. We had a set of enlightening sessions, and it was the good thing is that it had received a good attendance today, and at some point it became too technical, but it is well understood since the sessions were from Qualcomm. I am thankful to CEO CDOT and Qualcomm leadership for playing a catalytic role in organization of this workshop. It was long overdue, and I am glad that it took place today successfully. And today's engagement is an extension of another brief meeting that took place in Ministry of Communications a few days back, wherein our policy leadership got a glimpse of what Qualcomm is having on emerging technologies. We looked at today's workshop from two justification lenses. One being standing on the shoulders of giant, that is Qualcomm, and second being knowledge generation and acquisition have no boundaries. It is for societal benefits. CDOT is grateful to all innovators and startup participants who have attended today's workshop. Hope they have been benefited and are better informed about the global technologies developed by Qualcomm, technology trends that Qualcomm could share with all of us in their presentation. I'm hopeful they will relate with the opportunities it is opening for Indian startups and innovators. Today's workshop can be viewed as beginning of a long-term partnership between Qualcomm and Indian technology startups, and CDOT is more than happy to be part of it. Now, benefit of partnership, no need to mention, but I will still like to say that it will help us catch up with the state-of-art wireless technologies and solution already developed and being developed by Qualcomm. Second, build India use case and applications on the products and solutions line of Qualcomm and other such global players. And finally, get Qualcomm's hand-holding support to improve our domestic solutions, recognize them to have more access in the domestic market and market abroad. Now, in today's workshop, a few queries have surfaced. The concerns are quite complex and cannot be addressed through workshop alone. It calls for deeper engagement, a formal and more responsive platform, capacity building, and more frequent of such interactions. And I'm agreeing that these needs to be carried out jointly. Hope the queries and concerns raised in the public chat will give CDOT and Qualcomm a few valuable hints to build facilitation arrangement, including licensing, etc., to enable chip technology to researchers and innovators without too big entry barriers. And finally, thank you all for the opportunity and best wishes to all the change makers. Thank you. Anjali, over to you.
Uh, Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your words. Now, Mr. Arindam Das, who is the Director of Government Affairs, Qualcomm, I'd like to invite you to say a few final words to sum up, summarize, and give us identify the next steps which we can take going forward.
Honorable Dr. Rajkumar Upadhyay sir, CEO CDOT, Dr. Brajesh Mishra, Scientist and Head Collaborative Programs, and Dr. Rajesh Pathak ji, CEO of Bharat 6G Alliance. All other participants from CDOT, my friends from the ecosystem and startups, and my colleagues from Qualcomm. I think, needless to say, that we have had a very one engagement, a very fruitful engagement today. We got an opportunity, a very valuable opportunity, to very briefly highlight some of the technological platforms that we have, uh, various technologies that we are pursuing today, and what the future looks like in the coming years. Our entire objective of this workshop was to come closer to the Indian innovation ecosystem through the facilitation and the platform of CDOT. And with their help, I think we have been able to do that. And this is just the beginning of this dialogue. And as very rightly pointed out by Dr. Brajesh Mishra ji, that deeper engagement and further consultation and recommendations need to be carried out for this sort of dialogue to actually result into some actual products using Qualcomm technology and platforms. This uh, discussion that we had can only be considered as the opening scene. We have noted down each and every concern and remarks and observations that has been recorded in the chat. We seek some time from you to analyze these and get back to you specifically with all the responses. We will be in touch with the CDOT team to make sure that our responses and our help actually reaches to the last mile, people who are actually innovating. And I don't want to speak more because I think we have already engaged everybody for more than 2 hours now. But with this, I think our final thank you goes out to everybody else with our commitment that we are all at your side, and we want to see India to be a hub of innovation in line with our Honorable Prime Minister's vision. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Das, for your final thoughts and for outlining the next steps. That brings us to the close of our workshop. A huge thanks to all of you, all of our speakers, for sharing their expertise and insights. And a special thank you to everyone in our audience for your very active participation. We hope that you found this workshop informative and inspiring. We look forward to seeing the innovations that will emerge from the knowledge shared today. Have a wonderful rest of your day ahead, and thank you for joining us. Thank you so much.